Welcome to the weekly shir of the Zera Shimshon, and I hope everybody's having a happy Lag BaOmer. We had some wonderful fires last night in the Neve Yaakov area, and I hope everybody had a wonderful time and got to sing Rabbi Shimon and learn a little bit about Rabbi Shimon, and we're going to continue with Zera Shimshon. I didn't have time Erev Shabbos to do this, so I'm going to do it today. We'll just hopefully everybody will have time to learn it. Okay. The Midrash, this is in the Parshat Behar, Sinai, the Zera Shimshon, and it's number base, the second kapitel. Midrash Yalkut says in Shayahu, it says on the pasuk in Shayahu, it says Aniyim Merudim Tavi Bayis. The poor people that are destitute, you should bring them to your house. Rabbi Abin Omar Nemar Kan Tavi. So they make like a Zera Shova. It says the word over here, Tavi, bringing it into your house. But Nemar Lahalan says in Shmais, by Bikurim, Reishis Bikuri Ad Mascha Tavi, El Beis Hashem. So the beginning, the first fruits of your land, you should bring to Hashem's house. Malahalan Bikurim, Afkan Bikurim. So just like over by Bikurim, it really means Bikurim, the first fruits. So over here, giving food to the poor people is like bringing Bikurim. What's the shaychus? Who tamur? Ma inyan zel is that? What's the comparison to one another? I can explain this with the Perk Gimel and the Avos. It says Tanan Tain loy mishaloi. So give to Hashem His, because you whatever you have and whatever you give is His anyway. So it's all Hashem's. All money in the world belongs to God. So that's probably a hard concept for rich people to swallow, but okay. And the main wealth of a person shows how much land he owns, or how many vineyards or fields he owns. And it's the Gemara in Yavameh says Daf Samach Gimel Amrinan Kol Mi She'ein LeKarka Eino Adam. Anybody that doesn't own land is not considered a person. There's a certain dimension of a human being that needs to own something. And what God's Baruch's will is that He gives the wealth today to whomever He wants. And whoever He wants to take it away, He'll take it away and give it to somebody else. It's a galgal achoizer. Gemara in Shabbos Kufnon Aleph. It's like a revolving door, you go in, you go out, you go in, you go out. The person that's privileged to get the wealth is only able to eat the fruits from that wealth. But the main principle remains God's. The Gemara in Gittin says, and this was our Parsha, Behar. So somebody that sells a field in the time when Yovel is conducted, that was in the first Beis Hamikdash. Rabbi Chaim Omar Mevi v'Kaire. So when they bring Bikurim, you can bring the Bikurim, and you can read Arami Avidavi, that whole Parsha that you say when you bring Bikurim. And Reish Lakish Omar Mevi ve'ena Kaire. Well, if he doesn't own the land anymore, how is he going to say that in the land that you gave me? He doesn't own it. So he can bring Bikurim, but he can't read the pasuk. He can't read the kapitel there. But Pirush Rashi Bizman Yovel Noyeg Kol Mechiras Karka the Peiros. So when Yovel is in vogue, means it's being used, then all the selling of the fruit of the land is for the fruits. Because even if he sells the land to somebody else. But in Yovel, it comes back to him anyway. So it's really a usage, just a lease for those 50 years. Amrin and Nami Hoso, it says over there, the E Lav, the Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Kinyan Peres ke Kinyan Aguf Dami. If Rabbi Yochanan had not said that Kinyan Peres, that acquiring fruits is like acquiring the body of the land, Loy Matzo Yadav Raglav Beis. It's just an expression. He wouldn't have been able to stand up against all the criticism that was mounted against him. Now, this concept of Kinyan Peres, Kinyan Abuf Gami, is a little bit more complicated, but we're going to brush over it in the meantime. Just we'll see how this is applicable now. The Omer Rabbi Yasi, Omer Rabbi Yechanan, Ha'achim shecholku lekuchesem. So brothers that have divided the land that they inherited from their father, they become like, they have the din of purchasers. Okay, and they have to give it back to one another in Yovel. So if you think that Kinyan Peres is not an acquisition of the body, it's of the body of the land, you couldn't bring Bikurim. Only one person, maybe in a million, until Yeshua ben Nun. Mishum Deksiv Bohu, it says Mi'artzecha. It's got to be from your land. Well, if he sold it, then it's not his anymore. V'zeh eino shaloi. L'man domer Kinyan Peres lavke Kinyan Aguftami. According to the one that says that acquisition of fruits of the land is not like acquiring the land itself. And the Rambam Paskins in Perek Daled V'Hilchas Bikurim and Halacha Yud, he says Hamaycher Sadei LePeres. If somebody who sells his field for the fruits, halekech mevi ve'ena kaira. So he paskins that he can bring bikurim, but he can't read the pasuk because Rami Avidavi, he can't say that whole kapitel, that shtickle Torah, because he can't say it's me'artzecha. It's not from your land. You didn't acquire it. Nimsa kishiha adam machnis aniyim b'teich beisa. So what's it got to do with poor people in your house? So when you bring poor people into your house, and you serve them, and you serve them the bread and the food or whatever, and it says so you spread out, or literally give the bread to the hungry, and the aniyim, the poor people, should be, the desperate people should be coming to your house. Who can befiv? It's almost like he's saying with his own mouth. It's like as if he's saying he holds a Kinyan Peres lavke Kinyan Aguftami, that acquiring the fruits of the land is not acquiring the land itself. Shein lebegufa isher. That he is really not the complete owner of his land. Everything belongs to God. And he only acquires it to have the pleasure of the fruits, as long as it's by him. Because if he holds that the acquisition of the fruits are like an acquisition of the land itself, he wouldn't take the people into his house. Like a master, you don't want people coming into your house. That to be like one of his, the poor people should be like one of his family, that they could take some of his money. So according to this reasoning, all the fields belong to God. He only acquires this, as far as he's concerned, to use the fruits. That's all. Like it says, Kili kol haaretz. Kili haaretz. It says God says the land belongs to God. Svara zu haisa mispatelis mitzvahs havas bikurim. So this kind of thinking would be negating the bringing of bikurim, or lift at least the fachos mitzvahs or mikra megillah, or at least to negate the capability of reading the parsha that's about Aromi Avidavid that says it's his land. The loy mashkachas tu mitzvah zu afilu chad barachad. So because he wouldn't find this capability that somebody owns land only one in a generation. Therefore, the pasuk has to tell him that he's got to be promised that he's not going to promise that he won't be negated from this mitzvah bikurim. And it's as if he brought bikurim, bringing food to aniyim is as if he brought bikurim to the Beis Hamikdash. There's another Gemara also that giving a present to a Talmid Chacham and supporting him is like also bringing bikurim to the Beis Hamikdash. In other words, you're showing that you really don't own the money, the properties. You're giving to your bikurim, your first fruits, to to people that need it more than you do. Okay. I know adayin kasha lesoras aramam. Okay. I'm not going to go into this Rambam. It's too complicated, and he doesn't give it to us. So Bekitzer, the bottom line is that when you give poor people the part of your wealth, part of your whatever you have, you donate it. It's like bringing bikurim in the Beis Hamikdash. We should all be zeicha to bring bikurim b'meher v'yameinu and give part of our fruits to the V'Breinish Olam. Whatever he gave us, we're satisfied, and we bring the Beis Hamikdash shlishi b'meher v'yameinu amen. Kol tov.